Good morning and Happy New Year from Providence Farmstead. It's Alicia here and it's beautiful outside this morning. Nice and sunny. The temperature is warming up. We're expecting in the 40s today, which is nice. And I'm just gonna kind of walk around and tour the farm and kind of tell you what our goals are and our plans are for 2020. Starting here, my beautiful garden. Well, it's definitely seen prettier days, but that's okay. So right now under the low tunnel on the corner here, I have various early blooming flowers. Ranunculus, anemones, some bachelor buttons, things that will come up pretty early and give me some early blooms. It's not a lot, but I have never grown anemone or ranunculus, so I didn't want to jump in with both my feet. 1 foot at a time will do. In the low tunnels towards the middle of the garden, we have lots of green things and some cole crops. We planted those in the fall. The plan was to be able to harvest some by now, but I planted a little bit late, and then we got a really bad cold snap in early November with snow on the ground. So they're not doing as well as I'd hoped. They are still thriving under there. They're just not growing a whole lot. I don't know if we'll get anything out of them or not. If we don't, that's okay. It was a learning experience. I should have got them out earlier. That was my fault. So if they don't grow any more than what they do, we'll still eat the leaves because the leaves are still mighty tasty. There are discussions and plans in the work of possibly putting a greenhouse right here on the south side of the house where we can just open up the windows to heat it. For some reason, I'm not seeing that happening before I need it this year. But that would be awesome, wouldn't it? The chicken tractor has been ran along this edge of the garden for the past week or so. So my garden will be extended, I guess 8 feet, I think is what the chicken tractor is wide, to plan for spring crops and whatnot. These chickens here are starting to lay again. Hi guys. Thank God. Seriously, I'm so thankful that I'm starting to get fresh eggs again. It's been a while and I don't know what's going on with the other chickens, but this batch is giving me about an egg every day, sometimes 2 every 3 days or so, which isn't much, but it's a good start. And these guys actually need to be put in with the other chickens, but we have been waiting till we get the goats moved over into this area beside the garden I'll show you in a minute. And when we do that, we're going to move the chicken tractor in the goat pen so the chickens can all get accustomed to each other. I'm hoping it'll work. So we have a whole bunch of brambles over there. We had the goats back behind the garden last year, so you can see it's been eaten down a whole lot more than this section over here. So I'm hoping to get them moved over there and let them clean that up. Right now we have some strawberries right through here because I bought a bunch on sale and did not know where to put them. I really didn't want them going in the garden, but that's where they got put because I wasn't sure where else to put them. I also planted some garlic in with the strawberries, which I have not seen emerge yet and worries me a little bit, but if we don't have garlic next year, we don't have garlic next year. There are worse things. So my garden area is about 1/8 of an acre. I would actually like to expand to about 1/4 of an acre, but I want to make sure I can keep up with this. We'll go out a few more feet maybe this year because I will be hosting my first CSA. It's a very small CSA. I'm hoping for 5 to 10 members, and that's it. I'm okay with that. And it will be grown more market style next year just for ease of organization and taking care of it. Oh my gosh, I think these guys want something. Hi boys. Egg the cat. Hi Commander. I do have a few things covered up under a frost blanket over here, which is blown off. There are some turnip, which have done fairly well, and we've harvested some of those. And I've got some greens up under here. And you can see they got pulled off, but I've got some lettuce here. I think this is black-seeded Simpson and tatsoi. Guess it's about time for some stir fry. We need to fix a couple of spots where the tunnel is leaking air. It'll be warm enough today to open this up though. So the cover crop is out here for now, and that works. We'll till all of this in the springtime. Sorry, it was good lettuce. Working that in. Isabel's been bringing bunny berries that we've been spreading on the garden as well. And Matt's been given a little extra calcium with some ash. I suggest checking your soil before you put amendments in your ground to make sure what you need. So, which we've done. That's what's going on back here in the garden. Let's go see what else is going on. So this was a project that we meant to get done in the fall. We even started marking ground for it, and we just didn't get to it. These are my blueberry plants. I bought them November 2018. And if I don't get them planted in the spring, they will have to be up potted. Hopefully we can get them out though, and I'll show you where they're going. So we call this the backfield. We have a backfield behind the cabin also, so it gets confusing sometimes. We should probably give them 2 different names. And if you look, there are several pink flags in this field. Matt took a measuring wheel and measured out the space we needed, but it's not a perfect square, and that's as far as we got. It needs to be squared up. So starting here and going down to the pink flag that is down there, here it is, will be a row of blueberries. So the plan is to have more than what's there. I think there are 6 or 8 varieties now, and to have 3 or 4 rows of a couple of the different kinds, but then 1 row of some of the other ones because it extends the blueberry season, and they also have different flavors. Who knew blueberries could be so complex? Because I did not. So there is a great deal of this backfield left. We will expand the blueberries to keep going down this row and on through, because this is highly acidic soil, which blueberries like. I may also plant a couple other things back here that like acidic soil, so I'm looking at that right now. Another thing that we've been doing back here is trying to help the bees. Our neighbors who actually live across the street from us are beekeepers. And last year they wanted to plant this field with some clover. So we actually worked together to get that done and put a bunch of extra clover out here for the bees. So Matt will mow the rest of the tall grasses off here soon, and we will hopefully have a good flourish of fresh green things that come up nice and early for the bees this year, as well as other things, because we are very wildlife oriented. We provide habitat for many species of animals on our land, and we're proud of that. Last spring I overseeded this back corner with wildflower seeds, and they did not flourish as I'd hoped. So I think part of the problem was the grasses were too tall around them. I kind of scattered them all in. So we're going to try to keep it short early in the spring to give them a chance to come up, because 1, it helps the pollinators, and 2, I really like flowers, like a lot. I would love to have a nice flower farm. I will keep that dream and hope for the best. I'm starting very small on that because feeding my family comes first, but I still have lots of plans. I would love it if I had like a pretty good sized field of peonies. Wouldn't that be gorgeous? And sunflowers. It's just beautiful. I can imagine it. The boys are actually out putting more traps out. I still have the trap checking video that I have not posted. We didn't catch anything that first day. We haven't had a whole lot of success, but one of the things that we are actually concerned about are coyotes. We've been seeing a lot of them and hearing a lot of them. A few coyotes is good for the to keep populations under control. Every species needs to have at least a little bit of their species out there to keep everything going, keep the circle going. But the coyotes are getting a little bit out of control, so they are trying to trap some of them and see if we can dwindle the numbers down just a little bit, because I definitely don't really want to lose any of my goats or my chickens to coyotes, and it's a worry, a big worry. I've made my way up to the barn. I want to show you something over here. And I know you've seen it before, it's not a surprise. This is our tractor. And Egg the cat. We do have panels for it. Matt took them off, trying to get it up running. This tractor was built in this area in the mid-60s. It is a International Harvester 424. We have more problems with this tractor, but that's okay. My husband loves it, even though he hates it. He's got a love-hate relationship with it. His great-grandpa used this tractor to work this farm whenever Uncle Art and Edwina first bought it. This tractor has baled hay and done all kinds of other things. So whenever we became the owners of this tractor, it needed a ton of work. It didn't even run at the time. And it needed tires, and we had to have the 3-point hitch worked on, I think, 3 times. So it's a love-hate relationship, but because it was Matt's great-grandpa's tractor that he used, it's important to Matt. Would we love a new tractor? Yes, we would. Tractors are expensive, so hopefully that's in the future for us within the next few years. I'm not thinking this year's the year, even though Matt talks about it all the time. We shall see. Hi, Cocklebur. We have the buckling separated because we have his mama and his sister out in the pen with the other goats. Hi, Joe. Hi, guys. And there's my useless chickens. Hello, useless chickens. Most of those chickens are only a couple years old, guys. I don't know what the deal is. I'm just frustrated as can be. Well, the one standing on the log is the oldest. She's about 7 or 8, and she's just here because she's been here forever. The rest of them, I just don't know. We'll figure it out, I guess. Hopefully the 3 alpines are bred. Oh! You okay? Ooh, yeah, Loria got too close. We're hoping the 3 alpines are bred. It's going to take a little while to see. I think that, hi Joe, got Tinkle. I think that we're going to put Rosemary up for sale. We just, we have too many, and we aren't attached to her the way we are the other goats. Rosemary is Joe's baby from this spring. She's got a beautiful bunch of spots. There we got a good look at her. She is not disbudded though. If you're local and you want a Nubian that she is a good project to work with, let me know. I've got one for you. Hey, Rose. Hi. How's it going? You're wore out? Okay. So along this pathway from the barn going up to the cabin is where we see the most coyote sign. I actually did see a coyote right on this pathway when I was on the gator one day, and I did not have anything to shoot it with. So that is where I think a lot of the traps are going. Matt is down there setting a coyote trap right now because the goat babies are right here, and it just stresses me out so bad. We have a good south wind blowing in, so hopefully you can hear us okay.
We're going to attempt to get rid of some of the coyotes that are around here before our goats start having kids and the deer start dropping their fawns. Coyotes are the main predator for deer fawns. So if we can reduce their population a little bit, maybe that'll help with some of that issue. The most important things with setting a coyote trap is make sure it's bedded. Coyotes used to walking on solid ground. If it steps on it and it moves, it's coming over to the scent, thinks it's something to eat, it'll dig your trap out. It's got a piece of backing here. We'll put some fox urine on that. Take a little lure, throw it in the hole that I've got running back under there. And I think these are maybe Berkshire driving stakes. You drive that in the ground. Once it goes in the ground, whenever you pull on it, since it's off centered and it has an angle, it'll turn sideways under the ground and make a good solid anchor and make it very difficult for them to pull out of. The tool's got a little groove, it slides in, and we're just going to drive it in right here. Polyfill. It's cheap under the trap pan to keep the dirt from getting in there. Canines like fresh dug up dirt disturbance. They're very curious about it. This is a combination, be like a scent post when you let your dogs out and they go to the bathroom and pee on everything to mark their territory. So what that is, it draws your attention. You can see it from all the trails because coyotes like to run trails. And then also I'm adding a little dirt hole in there, dirt hole pocket set with some lure. And hopefully they'll come in, check it out, step on the trap pan and be here in the morning waiting on us. I'm using peat moss to cover the trap with because it's cheap and it's dry. You don't want the trap to get frozen in here, this wet dirt. You want a little bit of a depression over your trap pan. You want to have a little low spot there to encourage them to step right on that. You don't want to bury it too deep. You want your trap to work too. I didn't dye or wax these traps. I'm not sure how well we're going to do on scent control on it. We're going to give it a shot. I couldn't find any of my other traps that I've had for years. Look out, guys, one's going to blow right on you. Step back.
Dust in the wind. Oh, you're dust in the wind.
Getting tired? Just going to take a little stick, stick it in the lure a little bit, get some of that, jam it down in the hole. It's going to simulate the fox have caught something, buried it. It's going to come back for later to finish it up. We'll take a little tuft of grass and put it in the hole so whatever comes along will have to work just a little bit longer. At the step, the longer it's there, the more likely it is to step in your trap pan. Put a little bit of urine on there. Coyotes will come to fox urine and foxes will come to it, but foxes won't go to coyote urine, so we always use red fox urine.
Yuck.
Ma'am?
Get you a clump of grass.
Alright, all set. We'll see if we catch anything. Coyotes come through here, but they're not really thick. They hit all the farms all the way around us. But for some reason they don't really live here. So maybe we'll catch some. We'll see how it goes.
Ah, the cabin. A project that desperately needs tackled before it falls down. When we bought the cabin several years ago, we knew that it needed some work. The entire cabin has been taken down and rebuilt as early as 2007. And sadly, it looks like it needs it again. We've had a couple people come out and talk to us about it. One guy actually gave us an estimate to not even fix the whole thing, but just to fix some of the problems, was well over $100,000. And we don't know what to do. We're at a loss on it because we want to preserve the history of it. But at the same time, our farm needs so many things. Is putting over $100,000 into a cabin a good venture for our farm? Because we don't really feel like it probably is. I don't know, guys. What I do know is one thing we will definitely get done is get this elm tree off of here. Now, I hate to do it because there are so few living elm trees in Indiana because of Dutch elm disease, but it's going to have to be done because it is definitely not doing any justice to the roof, which needs to be replaced anyway. And we will get this porch the rest of the way off of here. You can see that having a porch caused a great deal of damage. The reason it had a porch was because the people who came out and rebuilt it put a footer in and made the footer too big. So to cover up their mistake, they put a porch on here. Yeah. Incompetence, just a bit. But I kind of feel like it's got to be in God's hands because there are so many other things that need to take precedence. Granted, we talked about fixing it up so we could live in it, which is still an option, but I don't know how much it would cost in the long run for us to do that. I don't know. I definitely would love getting up in the morning looking out here instead of out at the road. I could just see a gorgeous potager garden right here in the front. And all my market gardens on down that way. Dreams. Dream big, guys. It's a whole new year. I'm not sure if I ever told you this, but one of the reasons we decided to farm was because our son, unprompted whatsoever, at about 3 years old, was asked what he wanted to do when he grew up. This is Gabriel I'm talking about. And he said he wanted to be an apple farmer. He might have only been 2. And we had already been planning to homestead. And, that was a lot due to losing Levi. We lost our son at only 16 months old and decided that if we had a homestead where we were growing most of our food, our family could be together more. And that was important to us, and it still is. But when Gabriel said he wanted to be an apple farmer, we thought, well, we'll make that happen. So one of the things I'd like to get started this year is an apple orchard right here. It doesn't have to be real big to start with, but we need to get some things in the ground. We've been here for 3 years. It's time to get these things going. Whether or not it'll just be apple trees or a fruit guild, we're not real sure yet. But it will take most of this side of the drive back to the cabin. Up to about where the grass gets really tall back there. The brown stuff. Yeah, I can't see. So the other side of the drive, yes, we have mighty plans. This corner back here, I'm pretty sure is where the pumpkin patch is going to go this year. You know that big pumpkin patch I've been talking about for several years? I'm determined this year, guys. Even if it's only half of an acre, I'm determined to have my pumpkin patch. And I'm going to put some rows of extra flowers in. Sunflowers, poppies maybe, snapdragons, zinnias. There's just so many. And then down here where we've been rotating the goats, on as level of a spot as possible, which is something we have to work on, is where the biggest surprise of the year will go. Some of you already know about it. Matt wanted over on this side of the property without water. So water will be going in this year from the road back to the back field so that we can also rotate this. We have big plans down here near the gate as well, which is also going to be a surprise. Just know that all these rotten hay bales are going to have to be moved this year. Should be lots of fun. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me today. We have a lot of things going on for our farm in 2020, and we hope you'll hang out with us and see us learn through the mistakes that we make, because I'm sure there will be many, and see us grow. If you're a customer of ours, stay tuned. We have lots of great things coming up for you. Have a blessed 2020. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas, and we'll see you soon.
Raging with life and 3/4 dead, light as a feather, waiting as lead. It's tragic and lovely and so near undone. Let's open these windows, make love to the sun. Shaken and shattered, we collected and